ready to flow. Brutsy and Giddy got a show to glow. Life stories wild like a late night dream. We're spilling the tea and it's hot like steam. Brutsy and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Brutsy and Kitty show. From trending news to the tales untold. Spinning the wheel, let the stories unfold. Catch us in the vibe where the chatter grows. With a pair that keeps you on your toes. What's the buzz, what's the word? Spill it fast, haven't you heard? Brutsy and Kitty, we're here to play. Life and gossip every single day. Laugh a little louder, who needs control? It's the Brutsy and Kitty show. Truth or dare, we're taking the leap. Stories that'll make you laugh or weep. Tune in now, let the fun explode. This is your stop, it's the Brutsy code.
What is up, good people? Just sit tight. We're just going to get all set up on the other platform. Just bear me 2 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are feeling fabulous today. We are running a little bit late today, but what can we do? What can one do? Let's get Miss Kitty in here. Let's get her all set up. Whoop, whoop. Let's just sound it up our ears. Whoop. Good afternoon, my dear. How goes you? Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Guys, we're just getting set up over here. You just sit tight and we'll be all good. No, I suppose you don't really need me to do that, do we? We can just do that. I can make it big like that. Cool. Just getting set up, ladies and gents. Just getting set up. Kitty, how's your day going? That is a good thing. That is a good thing now, isn't it? Oh, okay, okay. Fair enough. Fair play. Yes, what's going on with Rebecca Goodwin? I was thinking that actually might be a good little thing to link in, actually, because it will kind of play into that kind of a little bit, won't it? Just bear with us, guys. Bear with us. We're just getting set up on the other platforms. Got to get the lovely Kitty in here, haven't we? Right. There we go. Let's add that to the screen. The technical side of stuff that goes into it, guys. You are seeing it live. Whoop, whoop. Mr. Stand Up, Elise. Whoop, whoop.
You got your wig on today? You
My wig?
so many people.
What
You
wig?
ain't got your wig on, huh?
What wig? I ain't got no wig. I've been telling about my natural growth. Black man can't grow a blonde wig nowadays. You lot are trying to trying to be political correct on my wig as well today. What's going on?
I'm gonna get you some blues thingies as well.
Mental. I have seen actually they've have you seen that strip thing, that strip banner thing that they've got on TikTok that they're promoting at the minute?
No, what's
like
that?
It's just like a banner. It's just like a strip banner. I can't even speak at the minute. Bear with me a second. Bear with me a second, guys. We'll be there. We'll be rocking and rolling in a sec. Just bear with me. Right, why is it doing that for them? Why is it doing that? Right, let's have a look and see. Why are you doing that? Why is it not covering my screen? Oh, you know what? I don't. Oh no, do I? No, I don't need to do that because I can do it on there. Right, okay. Right, let's just change my camera. What's going on with old Kitty then? Kitty's been disconnected. Kitty's been disconnected. Let's just do that for now. Let's just do that for now. And put that like so. Put that like so. We'll use this camera spell. Put that like so. Boom. Right, where have I gone? Where have I gone? Where have I gone, guys? Where have I gone? Apply. Right, where's my camera then? Okay. Let's delete it. delete. Delete. Oh, okay. All right, let's put that there. Okay, there. Good. Why can't I see my camera? I think we're getting attacked by the Matrix today, guys. I'm not sure what's going on actually. We're getting attacked by the Matrix today, guys. My camera just disappeared. I don't know why. Never mind. Right. Kitty keeps getting booted.
Yay! I'm back.
Sorry, I'm getting attacked by the Matrix at the minute. My camera's being attacked. Just bear with me 2 seconds. What were you saying, Kitty? Anyway, sorry, you were saying about.
Yeah, I'm going to try. I'm going to try and get to the Rebecca Goodwin thing. I don't know whether I'll make it because those that know me know that I have a little girl with autism, and tonight is bonfire night, and it's never a good one. So, but I would like to go and support her, and especially with what we're going to be talking about today.
Now what? Now what? Now I'm getting upset because my. Right, no, there we go. There we go. Right. Let's try again, shall we? Let's try again. Right. Camera. Add. Yes. Add.
I know. We'll be there in a minute, Donna.
Like.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Donna. Shout
Well,
out to
then
Donna.
Mommy, just relax, okay?
I will relax.
It's not a bad idea. Frankly, it's not a bad idea either.
It's not a bad idea, Mia. You're quite right. Quite right, isn't she? It's only 5 days. It's only 5 days.
Indeed, indeed. Guys, we're being attacked by the Matrix at the minute. I'm not sure what's going on.
You want to kick me out and then let's come back in?
No, let me just keep playing with this. Spare me a second. My camera just doesn't seem to want to show up for some reason. Right. Show. Thank you. Yeah, she's very sweet, that American that you have in the house, isn't it?
I do have a small American little girl. Well, I say small. She's 18, and she's very American. She learnt to talk through Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
And Disney, because she's cast as non-verbal.
Yeah.
Although she can get her point across when she wants to say no.
All right, there we go, guys. Sorry, I've had to shrink you a little bit. Just bear with me a second.
Luckily, I'm not vain. We're coming, Donna. We're coming.
We're coming, Donna. Donna, we're coming. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Don't go anywhere, Donna. Right.
You just want to see his blonde hair, don't you? I'm going to get you some blue eyes as well.
Ooh, blue eyes.
Yeah.
Then I would be getting a called coconut.
You would, wouldn't you?
Jesus. All right. Let's just try shrink it back again and then see what happens. How did I do that a second ago now?
It suits him. Yeah, it does. It does. If you sat him next to Donald Trump, you wouldn't know which one was which, would you?
All right. Sorry, Kitty.
Yay!
I'm just going to have to go super vain here, Kitty, because I can't get this sorted over here. But let's just get started anyway, guys. Kitty, what's the story today? What's the story in Balamory?
Well, I don't know how we're going to... Well, how do we say this without upsetting?
Okay. I'll try go for it. Off the cuff. I haven't even planned it. As usual, guys. Everything's off the cuff. The government have announced plans to ban certain types of activity that starts with X, well, ends with X, involving choking, suffocation, rough, dom play, all this kind of stuff, What do we think, guys? Should the government, the question we're asking today, should the government be policing the X industry? And what effects do we think that this is having on the industry as well, in terms of, women seeing things on the telly and, well, men predominantly seeing things on telly and thinking it's normal and maybe trying to incorporate it into like a relationship rather than a fantasy that's being shown on TV. I must admit, there does seem to be a hell of a lot of restrictions already. Okay, brilliant. 'Cause saying X, great. TikTok, you know how to upset me, don't you?
What word have you said?
Nothing.
That's all.
I haven't said anything, but this is just TikTok for you. They just do it all the time. It's
Right, we'll
too
have to
much-
call it.
It's too much.
We'll have to call it X.
Yeah.
Right, we'll refer to it as X.
Yep.
Right. We'll call it rough. We'll call it rough. Right. We'll call it
Roughage.
rough.
We'll call it roughage.
Roughage X.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. And that the government are now going to be policing what you're watching X wise.
Yeah. Can you see any positives to what they're doing, Kitty? Let's start with that. Are there any positives to putting restrictions on X sites?
No,
No,
no, I
positives
can't.
whatsoever?
I can't. Well, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I've been trying to think of them. In fact, all I can think is it's a good thing, because whatever these people can see it, some of them aren't actually acting on it. Like there are some that take it just too far,
Yeah.
and there are those that sort of, once they can see it sort of gets out of their system.
Sorry, Mommy.
That's all right, darling.
You're not mad at me
I'm not
anymore?
mad. No, I'm not mad at you anymore.
You're mad about the TV.
I am, darling. And so I think it's a good thing in that way, because once men can see that fantasy, some of them, they get it out of their system, don't they? I just don't think they can.
Donna, why don't you jump up here, Donna? Jump up here, Donna.
Yeah, I don't think some of them are able to separate the fantasy from reality, and that's where we've got a problem.
Yeah. Yep. You're at work, no worries. There's a famous movie called it's a series called Euphoria, and it's like 18 to 20 kids, like just sort of like a youngish show sort of thing. And there is a epic scene with Sydney Sweeney where she gets into an interaction with a guy in a bedroom, and he starts grabbing her by the throat and like getting a bit carried away to basically what he's basically doing stuff that what he probably would have seen in a movie or something like that, and it does make a breakdown of what people are normalizing in like the average man is normalizing and trying to incorporate into the bedroom. And I can definitely see that having an effect, because in hindsight, if I look back, I think to myself, do women really want to be? It's a scary question, actually. I'm scared of the answer. Do women really want to be degraded in certain ways in that sort of?
What was that film we watched? What was the film we watched where it was Nicole Kidman?
I can't remember.
Baby Girl. Is it Baby Girl?
Baby Girl. Well done, Kitty.
Yeah, Baby Girl. That is your average. Not average. That is the story of a woman who has been with the same partner for so many years, but realizes that she wants more in the bedroom, and she can't voice it to her husband at the time, but she manages to live out this fantasy with a really young guy, and he sort of gets it. He's very dominant and very, very controlling in the bedroom. And I think there is a call for it from women. I will say this, that I think more women are able to express what they want in the bedroom. And I do think a few more of them do like a little bit of, extra. Let's call it a little bit of extra. A little bit of rough and tumble.
Yeah. I suppose I think what we're seeing like after adolescence, and certain influencers that have a certain way, the way they talk about certain women and stuff, and it's quite in a degrading way. And I think from the government's perspective, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, we are facing a massive crisis at the minute of men not being able to treat women nicely, and maybe treating them in really degrading ways. And you're seeing it play out in videos all over Instagram where women are recording their partners secretly, and the way they're trying to treat them. Mason Greenwood is probably a classic one as well. A bit too much of the a bit too much domination, and I can definitely see that women in the peak of their body discovery, in terms of when they're ready, when a woman's ready for sort of yes, she knows what she wants and she can tell a man what she wants. But I think more for young people, if you've got young kids looking at stuff like this, I feel like it could have a massive problem. We could have massive problems, because you could have young kids. Most young kids don't know what they're doing, and especially men. They don't know what they're doing anyway as they're learning. And if they're watching things like this on the telly, it definitely will play into their minds. It definitely will.
Unfortunately, it's got to do with the incel thing, hasn't it? And the red pill and and all of this. So we know that there are young men that are mistaking dominance for anger. There is a difference. There is a difference, guys. I'm going to tell you that now. Because most dominant men in the bedroom aren't usually that strong on the outside, outside of the bedroom.
Yeah.
The reason that they want to be like that in the bedroom is because they haven't got control in life. And you usually find that the really, 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 really high dominant guys are the ones that maybe have a boss that's a woman that's really, really strong, or they have a very, very strong wife. And it's the same for a woman. If a woman likes to be dominated, you usually find that she's a high-powered boss, or she's a very strong woman in real life. And what she wants is, when she gets into the bedroom, she wants someone to take the control of what's allowed to be done. One of the things I will say about submission is the sub is always in control. You don't realize that until you've been in that sort of relationship. But you should always have a safe word. That's my advice. Always have a safe word.
Yeah.
But it's when the guy can't, or one of them won't listen to the safe word. That's when it gets scary.
Yeah. I think this is the thing. This sounds, me and you, we're mature people. We can talk about things like this. We know exactly what we're trying to articulate. We know what's right, what's wrong in terms of in the bedroom sort of side of thing. But I feel like it's the young people that are when you speak to most young people, they're coming into the contact with the X sort of industry and X sites very, very young. Like sometimes it's as young as 11. And if you've got and they're gonna see things like that. And if you've got 11-year-old kids, their minds seeing certain stuff, they're gonna get desensitized to it, and it's gonna become the norm, which it's become now. You're seeing young girls online now basically saying things like they want to be, seed and all the rest of it.
Well, over Halloween, one of the big jokes over Halloween was most men were dressing up with the ghost face, and they were doing this sketch, and it was like, I'm gonna your throat and I'm gonna strangle you. Oh, and then he starts going, no, don't get excited, stop it. I'm trying to say that I'm gonna, and it was a joke. That was a joke. That's how people are. It's a joke. That women want it apparently a little bit more, a little extra, and that men are supposed to give it a little bit extra. And like you say, unfortunately, with the society the way it is, and the whole incel thing, and blah blah blah, young lads are growing up to think that that's how you treat a woman.
They are.
That is what you do. That is how it's played. That's, and it's not.
Yeah, this is what I think the government have put this in place. They've done the age restriction thing at the minute, and the X sites have already said they've seen a massive drop in people watching the thing. So that's probably a good thing. Like, you know, so maybe that's one for Keir Starmer to say that he's done one or two little bits. That's you know.
But you're going to get the conspiracies that turn around and say, who is he to tell me what I can't watch? And again, I go back to the fact that there are a lot of men out there that that's their fantasy and they get off watching that fantasy. And a lot of them don't go out and do certain things.
You see what you just said there? It's it's so good that you said it, because can you imagine if a man just came out and said, my fantasy is I like to see and suffer women in the bed?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine that? It doesn't sound great. It definitely doesn't sound great. And if I made a video saying that's what I like to do,
Look at Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Look at Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, yeah.
He's had to pay 50 million for somebody that he was in a relationship with. They like to do the extra.
Yeah.
And now she's saying it was coercion and this, that, and the other. But at one point, it was a consensual, all in agreement. This is how we play.
Yep. He should have. He's a victim of foolishness, though. Like, you know, he's a big guy. He's in very good shape. He's got a lot of money, but no woman is looking at that man. No young girl is looking at that man and thinking, yeah, you know, I want this to be my baby daddy. Like, unless he's got money. So he should have learned. He should have known. Like, you know, when you look a certain type of way, and you're punching, and he was definitely punching in terms of what he had. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, he could go and spend God knows how much money and get one of these girls every night, sort of, if he wanted to. But to actually think that a young girl is gonna be interested in you in that sort of way, you know, without any sort of like extras that you offer or anything you bring coming to the table, is just stupid. So everyone, you know, I made memes about him crying, dashing money and stuff. But everyone that's watched it, they were like, "So Shannon, how did you not see the writing on the wall for this?" Like, you know, so.
And if he has a certain appetite
Which he
for
does,
a certain
which he does, because we heard it.
right, yeah, with a bit of a difference, wouldn't it have been better to just have this? But he did. He thought he had this one partner. You know, and he's thinking he's got this one partner that he can share his appetite with. I am really being well. I'm doing so well with this,
I know.
with the euphemisms.
I'm good at this. I'm good at this as well. When you've got young children, when you've had young children, anyway, you kind of know how to go PG.
Yeah, so the euphemisms are coming out. So he's got this certain appetite.
Yeah.
He meets this woman on a certain site, and he thinks she has a similar appetite to him that fits. And he's been in a relationship, as far as he's concerned, with her for how many months? And then, obviously, I think he really does sort of, I think he dumps her or something like that.
Yeah,
And that's,
She started
and
getting,
then,
she started
and then
asking
she
for
says,
stupid things.
no,
Yeah, 100%.
no.
That's the thing. Yeah.
He forced me to eat from his table. I'm getting good at this. I'm getting good at this. He forced me to eat at his table. I don't like eating it that way. And the way he did it was he used money and coercion, and he's a big guy and I was scared of him. So really, you're putting yourself in danger there, especially if you're a man of influence and that's your appetite. That's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, when you just going back to what I said, like, you know, when it comes from the man's mouth, like, you know, we all heard the leaked recordings of him talking to her, like, you know, and he looked and sounded like a monster. But like, you know, I started this off. Did the government have a right to sort of be policing the X industry? I'm kind of in favour of this, even though people that might raise an eyebrow to it, I'm quite in favour to it, because I see the bigger problem in young people. Like, you know, with young people, you know, we're seeing some horrific things. Like, you know, we're seeing boys nowadays, they're recording girls doing stuff to them and posting it on the internet, and these are young people, and it's the kind of stuff that you are seeing in the movies and in the X industry. But this is a bigger question. Like, sometimes we watch films and sometimes there's a really bad, rough or R scene in that film, and you think to yourself, why? Obviously, if the film if it's relevant for the film, like if there's a revenge sort of thing, then you could what's that film called?
The Accused.
Is it The Accused or whatever? I know. I'm thinking of the one with the guy, the vigilante, where his daughter gets hard and then he goes and kills them.
Oh, I can't remember that one, but
Yeah. But I think to myself, you know, when I watch some of these movies and they throw these sort of really sort of rough and degrading things into it, like you think to yourself, why are they doing it?
because I suppose the story has to be realistic. The realist, this guy has to have a reason to go on a rampage, doesn't it?
No, not for that case. I'm talking about in general when they throw one of these really aggressive scenes in the movie, like when sometimes you see it's totally out of pocket, like there's just like a really aggressive sort of scene, like a woman
Oh,
being degraded.
there's no need for random
Yeah.
grape. There's no need for random grape at all. Just gratuitous. Yeah. It's in there for the sake of we want to. Yeah. That is almost soft corn.
Kitty, I'm going to stop the TikTok and then restart it because of the restriction they won't push it out there, and
okay.
I'm jumping through hoops over it to try do this and that. So let me just restart.
Yeah. It's fine.
All right.
We'll restart.
Come straight back, Donna. Yeah, you better come back or I'll. I'm joking. Good. Try to keep you close to me. Welcome back, Donna. How is my lovely Donna? Welcome back, Donna. Let's get the tune going again. Actually, I don't want to move anything because if I move something, it might be... If I move... Good God, Donna. How are you finding your lives anyway, Donna? There we go. And look at that. The Duchess is back, and look at that. She's bigger and better than ever. What can we say, guys? Woohoo.
Just put me in the corner, and nobody puts the Duchess in the corner.
Oh. Hello. Nobody put the Duchess in the corner. Rotted.
No.
Rotted. Right. There we go. Let's just fix you big on the other one. There, fabulous. There we go. Alrighty ho, guys. Where were we? We were talking about that. Welcome back, Donna. Welcome back indeed. We were talking, guys, we've started this show talking about the police making plans to ban certain sort of rough scenes in the X industry. Me and Kitty are getting great at these little...
euphemisms, aren't we? We're appetites and
indeed.
Roughage and
yes,
X.
yes, indeed. All right, let me ask, ladies, do you ever feel... Do you think there are women out there that are bending to the will of men rather than... Bending to the desires of men rather than their own desires, because some people, I know some women that are fully in control, fully experienced, fully know what they want. They'll happily tell you what they want. More, you're not gonna have any problem with that. But there's gonna be young people. This is what I feel like this has been put in place. Is there's gonna be young people that feel very pressured by what they see on the TV. They're already pressured by the beauty standards, for instance, on the TV.
Yeah, I think a lot of girls are going to be not forced, but coerced into things that they're not comfortable with. Young girls really should be experiencing love and attention and care, and yet young lads are gravitating towards a rougher appetite because of the corn industry.
Yeah.
So. At the end of the day, I do understand why this is being put into place, but I do think that it has a place in society because it helps certain people relieve certain fantasies that are dangerous. I mean, Miss Blue often talks about her work in society and how she helps the grape industry and how she stops people getting graped because of what she does. But you can argue that that doesn't work that way.
No,
if a person has an appetite for a certain particular way of doing these things, they want to see it and they want to do it. Watching Miss Blue and 2,000 Men is not going to sate that appetite at all.
Yep.
That's not what she's provided. She's not providing.
No. Well, I think what Miss Blue, God rest her soul, like the end. I feel like everyone kind of has a sort of, like when Steve Irwin was playing with crocodiles, and everyone would say, eventually we all thought that it'd be a crocodile that got him, sort of thing. And I feel like, unfortunately, I don't wish any harm on Bonnie Blue, but I feel like she's gonna feel the full. If she continues to act crazy the way she's acting, she's gonna feel the full brunt of that. Of what a man's desires can really get to. She'll get men that are going to be obsessed with her, and then all of a sudden one man will take it too far. And it'll take she says that she's got security, but it will take 2 seconds for someone to sort of get there and do something horrible to her. But
Yeah.
I hope it
This-
doesn't.
this
Like I
is
say,
why-
I wish it doesn't, but that's kind of.
This is why the other page stopped the box. Can you
Yes,
remember she was going to do the box?
Indeed.
This is why they stopped it, because it could go too far. She doesn't see that. She doesn't. All she saw was cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's all she saw. What she didn't see was there could have been somebody, and wasn't she going to do it live as well?
Yes. There was a whole load of things. I tried.
Yeah,
to
she
keep
was
up
gonna,
with what
she was
she's up
going to
to.
do it live for 24 hours or something like that, or for 3 days. She was going to be in this box, and they could do whatever they wanted. Like you say, it takes seconds to do the wrong thing.
Yep.
And that could have been live. So I can understand why the other page said no. Not a chance. I can understand that. I don't think she does anything to help the grape industry in the way that she thinks she does. I really, really don't. I actually think she encourages, because then young men think that that's what all women are like.
That is 100% it. Like, the men go in there. In their mind, when they're doing what they're doing to her, what do you think they're thinking in their mind? Do you think they think, "Oh, you're such a lovely lady. Oh my God, this is amazing. It's you, dirty effing da da da." That's the hate style of it. And it's for some women experience and know exactly what they want in the bedroom. Some women, there's a place and time for that for those women. But I do think the government are right to do this, as well as putting the age restriction on the industry. I do think it's a good thing for humanity, because we get too much nowadays is becoming normal. Like, way too much is becoming normal. Like, the bar is just going down and down, and with Bonnie Blue coming in as well, the bar, like, she set the bar, like, it's even lower now. Like, degeneracy is at its highest. Like, even in the industry that I'm in, I still think sometimes that men need to sort of, just get into the role. I get the steam. You want to let some steam off, that's fine. I get that. That's no problem with that at all. But I feel like it's got to a point where it's gone crazy. Men, like, they're waking up and all they're doing is, that's literally all they're thinking about. And eventually the internet side of stuff isn't enough, and these men will show you what they want to do. They will get out there. Unfortunately,
I think as well, we've got to go back to the school system,
Yeah.
And educating that's not what you do.
No.
That is a fantasy, and it's something that is extreme. It is not every day.
Yeah.
It is not an everyday occurrence. This is not an everyday occurrence. This is not normal.
Yeah.
And I use that normal because for some people it is normal, but they've usually found people that it's normal for as well. Do you get what I mean? They gravitate to each other and they have those conversations, and it's an adult. These are children just learning that this, and they think that this is love.
Yeah.
That is not love.
Yeah.
That's humiliation. And to coerce anybody into that sort of behavior.
Yeah.
There are people out there that would welcome that behavior because they are that way inclined as well.
Yeah.
But you can't just, the first couple of times, boom,
Well, what's
have that.
sad is that, young girls, they have role models. And in this day and age, people like Bonnie Blue, unfortunately, are role models just purely because of the success side of it. Like, I don't think even Bonnie Blue knows what even when she sat in her mansion in 10 years, 20 years time, when she's sat in her mansion, she'll be crying like that freaking what's that other lady that's recently been crying for the industry to take all her videos down. Is it Lana Rhodes? Is it Lana Rhodes?
Yeah.
Lana Rhodes, she's been in the industry, giving it large, blah, blah, blah for years, and now she's crying online saying, please take my videos down, I've made my money, I just don't want it anymore.
It's really funny because Miss Blue has actually just bought a house down the road from me.
Yeah.
Genuinely down the road from me. I know exactly where she lives. I'm not going to go around, by the way. And it is a beautiful, beautiful mansion. And she's done so well and she works so hard. And I will not take anything away from her work ethic. That's what she's decided to do. She's sold her soul in a way. But one thing I'll never understand about Miss Blue is, once she's made her money, why is she still chasing? Why? She's made a hell of a lot of money. She's made enough money to live, move to Australia and go and live somewhere else, or and just go and be happy. But she's still chasing it, and she's still pushing the boundaries. And the more boundaries that get pushed, the more younger people are seeing it and thinking that they have to then push the boundaries.
Yeah, 100%.
We know in our industry, women are always thinking of the next crazy thing to do.
Yep.
They are, like you say, Becky was a road traffic cone, wasn't it? And things like that. It was everybody, what's my friend's name? The one like Katie Robertson.
Yep. Peppa
Peppa Pigs or whatever they were. And
Yep.
it's always the next thing, the next absolutely, degenerate.
What I would say as well, what people need to realize is, we've had it very recently. I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but we've had it very recently where celebrities have been making that have made worth millions of pounds. They've got all the money in the world, but then they go and kill themselves. What does that tell you, people? Although everyone wants a little bit more to be comfortable and everything like that, we all want that, that tells you that money isn't everything. There are people that live in their mansions right now, that hate their life for the choices that they've made or for chasing choices that they've made. But, that just goes to show you what's really important to the mind and to you is you need to find that. Otherwise, you'll get to a point where you've got 10 big houses and that's not enough. And then you go and top yourself because life sucks.
Yeah, but I go back to that documentary about Miss Blue, and I remember one of the things that always struck me was she had no real friends. There was no real friends. I have a group around me of real friends, and I know, you're my manager, and if I was going down a certain road, you'd pull me back, and you'd talk to me, and you'd say, "Come on, this is getting ridiculous. Think about yourself. Think about the future. Think about this. Think about we're making money. We're doing this. We're doing that." But she had nobody that would do that. All she had around her was yes people.
Yeah.
And eventually she's going to get really, really lonely. And I hope I'm wrong, and I genuinely hope I'm wrong. I don't see a very good ending for Miss Blue.
No. I mean, she's rolled the dice on life 1,000 times in one night. But she's rolled the dice 1,000 times in one night already. For me, I think that she needs to slow it down now, because now she's got the name, she's got the money, and if she wants to get respected, I feel like if she pulled away from this I think she has slightly now anyway, to be honest with you. She's just doing the barely legals at the minute. She's doing the barely legals at the minute.
She's trolling around Nottingham in a van trying to pick up young students.
Yeah, well, that's I would say that's better than 1,000 men. 1,000 men in one setting. I would say that's better than that. She's making progress. Let's give her progress at least.
Yeah, baby steps.
baby steps. She'll get there. She'll get there to a point where, for me, what about eventually? She's gonna want love. She's gonna want all these things, and
Can you tell me that her husband's left her now?
Yeah, her husband left her age. Her husband left her ages ago.
He was in the documentary, wasn't he?
Yeah,
the husband.
Yeah.
And did somebody tell me that she can't have children?
That's that's the saddest thing as well about the documentary, is what I took from it. Her and her husband were very happy. They were looking for the perfect dream job, and she wasn't able to get pregnant, so she decided to go and experience other things. So let's just say if Bonnie Blue was able to get pregnant, she would be in a loving relationship now, looking after a child.
Look at how many women, I can say this from experience, are told that they can't have children and then go on to have children,
Yeah.
right? And you know, when you look at it that way, what if she was to get pregnant by one of these guys? Because we also know that although they are using protection, it's not necessarily going to work all the time, is it?
Mate. I mean, unfortunately, I you know, curiosity got the better of me, and I had to have a peek at this 1,000-man setting thing, and the amount of bodily F all around the place. There's like literally like sometimes you see it everywhere, like everywhere possible. There's no way that you can guarantee a little bit doesn't flick up somewhere and get into the, or, you know, it's in the eye as well. You know, I'm pretty sure.
God, that kills.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Flashbacks. Flashbacks.
Perfect emoji, Donna. Perfect emoji. But yeah.
What was that?
That was a subscription on my OBS, I believe. I need to get
Oh,
that
okay.
up. I'm so bad, honestly, guys. People follow me constantly and on other. It's linked basically on my alerts.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, what if she was to get pregnant by one of these thousands?
Mm.
And imagine if it's a young lad as well. Hi, Ethan. It's a young lad. He's just starting his life. He's just starting university, and he's tickled his fancy with Miss Blue. And all of a sudden, he's getting that knock on the door. Guess what? I don't think she'd tell them though. I think she'd just have a baby and whatever. But then at the end of the day, it's simply that child's life is ruined because of who her mum is. Like you say, she should make your money and go.
Yeah.
There's look at perfect example, Becky.
Yeah.
Right, she's okay. She does what she does, but she's going off into other avenues. It's not all about the corn these days. It's about, you know, she's doing lives on TikTok. She's doing this, that, and the other. She's even done some comedy shows, from what I can gather.
Yeah, she's done a few comedy shows, and she's also
She wants to go into acting.
She's done a movie already. There's a movie of her in on Netflix. I think it's not.
Yeah.
I think she's just in the movie, but yeah.
So, although she's making money and she's making bank one way, she's actually going another way, and she's doing that thing. Eventually, she may still be known as Becky, the girl that was, but her career is going, you know, she's doing things on Channel 4 and things like that. If you see my eyelashes, babe, that's why I have them. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, she's branching off into other things. I do feel sorry for Becky, because this is going back to what we were talking about. Obviously, something's happened to Becky, alleged rape, and she's having to defend herself because there are a lot of men out there saying that she deserved it because of her career.
And this is I mean, this is the kind of thing that they are trying to cut down. They are trying to censor the X industry for this particular reason, because, you know, I'll go back to it. Men have gone crazy. You know, the amount of control that men want. You know, that's why there isn't an OF industry, because men, you know, they see it as, you know, they're able to see a woman and say, all right, you know, I want to see this, I want to see that. Like, you know, there's a lot of that going on, and there's a lot of negative effects to it, I think. But, you know, I think that's why people in the industry, it's all about control, knowing your boundaries, knowing your limits. Who's Becky? Rebecca Goodwin we're talking about.
Becky Goodwin. Allegedly, her ex has raped her. And it doesn't, you know, there are people that are making money out of it. They are literally trolling her online, and they're getting millions of views and making thousands of pounds, saying that she deserved it and what does she expect because of her career. Firstly, no woman deserves that. No woman deserves that. A woman has the right to say no all the way through, right? You are still in control. You should still be in control and be able to stop.
Yeah.
That's the argument, right? Whether it's right or wrong, that's the argument. A woman can say no. to vilify her if this has happened, allegedly this has happened. And I have to say, before anybody jumps on me and starts shouting at me, I have to say allegedly, and I have to say if this has happened. If this has happened, she's traumatized. If this has happened, it's the second time in her life that she has been abused by men. She admits it herself that as a child she was abused by some relative or something. You know, when we was watching the reality check podcast, she talks about it, doesn't she? She talks about, and this is her. She said that this was her way of taking back her power, and you know, making men pay.
That's it. Like, you know, some people don't understand that concept, but it's actually so common. Like, you know, if a woman's been, you know,
Essayed.
If a woman's been essayed, they normally go through a bit of a crazy stage after that, where they do that, and they say exactly the same thing. They will take in the power back. Like, you know, it's more of a control thing for them, sort of. You know, just it's almost like therapy for them, kind of.
Well, if you remember in that reality podcast thing, they were obviously teasing her about this holiday, but what she was actually trying to get across at the time, because they said, what do you give to society? What do you give to society? And that was their question constantly. And she was trying to explain that because of what had happened as a child, she was taking it back. And in doing so, she's making millions of pounds and making, I think she had to pay something like $250,000, wasn't it? In taxes and things like that. She was saying that she pays an absolute fortune in taxes. And she was saying, this is what I give to society. I mean, they were taking the mickey and saying, oh, but you can only take your kids in a camper van around the country.
Yeah.
But that's the bit that I took umbrage with. At that particular moment, she was being very vulnerable. And she was saying, I took my power back after being great as a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And that was the bit that got me, because they should have stopped that conversation. And then now there are men saying, well, you can't be raped in that industry because that's what you do for a living.
Yeah, people are collabing in the X industry right now, literally collabing, and then coming after the collaboration, after everything's signed and sealed, saying that they were pressured and they were forced. And you know that's a very scary situation to be in, where you know you're in the adult industry, you arrange a collaboration with someone, and then they we're talking about power and the way a man has to act for certain, you know, for the TV, you know, for the camera, for the gram, as you say, you know, it could be you could quite easily, you know, get stuck in a situation if you're doing something like that, or you know.
I'm assuming people like, you know, Pascal and
he's had it.
Yeah.
He's had. I know.
Has he had it done to him? Because I would imagine now he's got a disclaimer that they all have to sign.
Yeah.
I know in the, let's call it the dungeon life.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they become a partnership, they do sign the contract saying that this is what I allow, and I am not responsible if I don't use a safe word, we're safe to go, sort of thing. So I know that there is a lot of contracts, but surely that takes, I mean, I know maybe the dungeon life isn't as romantic, but doesn't that take the shine off it a little bit? You know, sign that first.
Yeah, it does. But, you know, what I know about in this industry, it's very professional when it comes to the collaborations. People are very professional. It's all signed and sealed before. Everything's agreed before. But then you're still having problems. Like, you know, I know someone personally that Pascal allegedly went very far on. You know, so it's not safe, basically. It's not safe.
No, and I do actually feel sorry for men in that situation, because women do ask for a lot more these days as well. They know what they like, they know, and they're not what, you know. But I'm talking about women that are older as well. You know, women my age, I know exactly what I want, and I will ask for it quite happily. You know, and I look for what I want in that area, if you get what I mean. I wouldn't train somebody up. I would find somebody from my menu. I was trying to think of a really.
No, I get you.
You have to look at it that way. But then someone like, when you consider what happened to Becky, and this was her partner, And a lot of people would say, years ago, sort of 30 years ago, oh, I got Panda. Thank you. Thank you, Chloe. I know who did that. That was Chloe. Years ago, can you remember, you couldn't grape a wife or a partner.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't class.
Yeah, in some cultures now you still can't do it.
No, well, yeah, exactly. You still can't do it.
Yeah.
And also I just don't get how men are thinking these days. I mean, you tell me. I mean, you're younger than me, but you're older than these
I
young
think,
guys.
in summary of the show goes, we started about, do the police have a right to be policing the X industry? I see a lot of men, what's a nice way of saying it? I think they're lost. They're lost. They've got a lot of men are lost. A lot of men don't even know how to speak to women anymore. Don't even know how to the only thing they know how to do is go on a live and freaking say some sort of foul or crude sort of stuff, and expect an outcome from it as well. Expect a positive outcome from it. So men at the minute, their heads in the gutter, unfortunately. A lot of degeneracy going on, and it's dangerous because there'll be men out there that will go a little bit too far. There'll be men out there that will go a little bit too far. That on-screen interaction won't be enough. Even who's it? Even Charlie, she's had situations where, someone's jumped out of a bush in the middle of the night, so Bonnie Blue, she needs to be extra careful. Trust me, you do need to be careful out there.
I think it's really. I mean, I get threats quite a lot. Because their game is terrible. So they'll message me and they're like, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
And that's the question. That actually is them chatting me up. Where are you from?
Yep.
And I'll say where I'm from, and they're like, "Oh, right, okay. So when are we meeting?" What? That's surely not your game, is it? That's not your game,
mate. Did you see that video that went viral of that lady sat at the bus? And some Somali man comes up to her and he's like, he's talking to her like he's about to start a fight with her. And he said, "Oh, you're lucky, you're lucky. I don't." She's trying to speak to him, and he's just like, "No, I'm not." She's like, "I'm not interested, whatever." And he's like, "Oh, this is my area, blah blah blah. You don't know how lucky you are. I could literally. I'm surprised you haven't seen it. It's been taken by the by the right. It's been taken by them. Hasn't been blown up because it was a black lady. I mean, men are lost at the minute, and they are stuck in the fantasy of online and social media. They think that's real.
Chloe will tell you, because Chloe is one of my moderators. When we're on live, and some of them they will come on and they're like, "So when are we banging?" And I'm like, does that actually work? Has that actually worked? Has anybody ever gone, well, get out your diary, let's have a look? Because I don't understand how they assume that this is the way you get a girl.
I think maybe it's one of those ones where it's like, when are we banging? When are we banging? One of those ones.
Yeah.
When are we banging? And
they usually tell me they're doing that, and I just like, crack on.
Yeah.
I know, and that's another thing as well. Because I do shows like you say in the PBC and in the booth, and they just go up. Pardon? Up, dance, 360. No, please, no, thank you, no gift, no nothing, right? And I'm like, yeah, because telling me what to do really works out for you really well, doesn't it? Mm. And I just think to myself, this new generation are cooked. They're done. They're finished. They've got no game. They've got no idea. They think that women are just there to be used and abused. And women, I'm afraid, are allowing them to do that. The younger generation of women, a lot of them think that that's all they're worth. That's all they're worth. You are worth a hell of a lot more than that. You will be eventually somebody's mother. And you are worth a hell of a lot more than some geezer, right? When are we banging?
Yeah. The sad, I mean, the sad thing is, if you're a man of note and you've got a few followers, you can quite easily do that and be very successful. There's loads of guys being very, very successful. You know, meeting girls and sleeping with them on TikTok. Like, you know, as much as people say it's not a dating site, you know, even my first collaboration that I did, like, you know, I was meant to go see this lady, and I went to her house and everything, and like, you know, as soon as I got there, she was like, your bed's made up for you upstairs. We was meant to do, like, some videos and stuff. And then, like, literally, she was, like, plying me with alcohol and all the rest of it. And I was like, oh, shoot, I got to get out of here. You know, so, you know.
Didn't even get any food. That's rude.
No, yeah,
I'd expect some, I'd expect some
literally.
dinner.
Well, I had one drink, and then literally it was like, thank God we went for a meal first, actually, because we was doing videos and stuff. But yeah, literally, like, you know, there are women on there's hungry women online as well, mate. I'm telling you that now. It's just to give the guys a little break. There's just as many hungry women for the right man as there are men.
Well, obviously there is.
There are for men for any woman. That's the difference.
Well, obviously there is, because there are women. I mean, there are women that obviously, when somebody says, "When are we banging?" they go, "Well, when do you want to meet?" Because obviously that has worked at some point for some lad, and it was. And then I go on people like, I don't know whether you know Andrew England.
Yeah.
And I see the women on there, and they are literally thirsty.
Yeah.
Thirsty. They are literally dehydrated.
Yeah.
They are dehydrated. They are throwing money at it. It's, and I'm like, where's your self-worth, girls?
I think you know, women are exactly the same as men now. Unfortunately, online women are exactly the same. For the right man, a woman will do anything for you. You know, when it comes to men, if you're not a high sort of status guy or whatever, you know, you just have to kind of settle for whatever you. That's why they do what they do, where they just hit and miss, basically. That, you know, that's their game plan. I can hit and miss for as long as I can on there, But yeah,
I will say this to all the girls that are watching, and you know, hopefully we'll have these clips up. You do know most of them have got girlfriends, don't you? And men, you do know that most of these women have boyfriends or husbands, and vice versa.
some guys like, oh, shut up, you stupid woman! Don't say that.
Yeah, just lean forward a little bit more.
I just need this just for today. Kitty, lovely chat with you today. It was kind of a relaxed talk, actually, rather than the normal sort of serious stuff that we've been doing lately. But we will be back to the serious, guys, tomorrow. It will be at 2:00. Today it was my bad. Working hard and grinding, guys. Kitty, anything you want to say before we rock and roll?
No, come on, guys.